Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Buster Show podcast. Today, we have King Saladeen on the show. He is the king of the modern arts world. King Saladeen, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. What's up, Buster? How you feeling, man?
Doing great. First, got to acknowledge the studio background. You're definitely beating my blank white wall here.
We
I
gotta
like.
get something for the back. We're gonna get you something for the back of your wall,
We
man.
got to. I like. I love the art, man. How did you first get into making and then eventually selling your artwork?
Oh man, well, I'm gonna start way back. So I had my own T-shirt company, pretty much like painted T-shirts, selling out the trunk, bro, in the early 2000s. Um, Everything really popped off though. Like I quit my job in 2011, but previous to that, I was always just trying to I always loved art, but I never really seen an artist, like a living artist that was kind of like somebody to follow. So it was really like I didn't think it could happen, man. So you got introduced to JP the Money Bear. So
Yep.
that's in remembrance of my best friend, JP, that passed away from brain cancer in 2013. And he was the one that really pushed me to do it, bro. Like he was the one, like, bro, I know you can do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he put my first
Yep.
paintings. I quit my job, and he was the one that like literally made me quit my job. He used to kill me every day, like, bro, I know you're not going back to the plantation. You know what I mean? Every day. So that really just stuck with me, man. And this one day I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna just try to do it. Like before I had kids, I was like, I need at least 2 years to kind of like not like give a fuck about life a little bit and
Right.
just find my way. You know what I mean? Because I was worried about my car getting repossessed and just stuff that's like really minimal when you start looking at life on the overall. And I just gave myself a shot, man. And it's a long story in between all that, but that's like the main how I got started and why I got started.
That's amazing. So 2011, that's like the very start of social media as well. How
Yeah.
much did that world play a factor in allowing you to do what you do?
Well, it played a major factor because in the midst of that, everything was like, and I'm glad that I came from that era as well, where you had to like actually meet somebody or actually see somebody and be like,
Right.
yo, that's dope, or like you're a good basketball player. Like whatever you did, you had to almost be in the flesh to see it or word of mouth. So when I quit my job, I think Facebook was really popping, and then Instagram came out when you only could have it on an iPhone. So I had like a T-Mobile flip. I had all these T-Mobile phones, and I was like, "Yo, I gotta get an Apple phone, man," because it's something about that Instagram where people are like posting pictures and they're commenting, and you can see what all these different rappers and athletes are doing. So it was kind of like that was the main focus for me. Was like once I quit my job, I gotta get this exposed all over the world, no matter what.
I love
So
that.
it was huge. It was huge because all the stuff that I was doing, like in my mom's basement at the time, I could just post it. You know what I mean? And then when I quit my job, I was fortunate to live on the couch for like many years with like friends in LA and Miami. So in the midst of my journey, I'm just posting everything. You know what I mean? Walking on Hollywood Boulevard, meeting gallery owners, selling all kinds of stuff and taking pictures with the person who bought it. So I kind of like started that up when I didn't know that that was a thing because I wasn't really following artists. I was following more like athletes and rappers and stuff like that. So I was like, if I can curve my way into this art world and kind of like just expose what I do online, I think it'll be like a good thing. And it worked out.
What did you feel like was your first major breakthrough?
Hmm. Well, I think the major breakthrough that came before money or anything like that was literally me just knowing in my head, like, okay, today I'm gonna walk in my job and I'm like telling everybody holla. Like, and I think that was the breakthrough because once I started thinking in that mindset, like I can do it, um, I don't know, the universe started working for me. But the situation and the deal that happened where I was just like, wow, um, I got an opportunity to do a project with Jordan Brand, 2014-ish. And it was a Philadelphia, I'm from Philadelphia as well. And it was a Philadelphia project, but I met these guys playing basketball at Carmelo's gym when Carmelo had the gym down the street from the
Yep.
garden. So shout out to my man Jeff Chin. He was working at an agency at that time, and he was just like, "Bro, I didn't know you could play basketball. Would you want to do like this project with Jordan?" And I'm like, "Bro, yeah, I want to do a project with Jordan." You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
once that, I think like I don't know, the world kind of got to see me on a different scale after like hustling and taking pictures and showing art, and that was my first breakthrough. So shout out to Jeff Chin and A's for J's and Jordan.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was that project?
It was called A's for J's. So they had a program in Philadelphia public system, the public school system, where if you kept a certain grade point average, like a 4.0 for like, I guess the whole year, they give out different gift certificates for Foot Action, Foot Locker, wherever they sold Jordan products. And the kids would just get free gear. You know what I mean?
That's
So they
awesome.
wanted me to do they wanted me to work with 4 different public schools and do a huge piece of art. So it was like a 16 by 12. And I've never worked on nothing like that, like previous at that time. I never worked on anything that big because, you know, like I was selling paintings that people could like walk with and take with.
Right.
And they gave me like 6 days, bro, to do this deal, this situation. They set the house up with GoPros and a big Nike truck came. So it was crazy, bro. I didn't sleep for like 3 days getting this done. But it wound up being like one of the best projects I've ever did.
That's awesome. What sort of stuff do you enjoy doing the most now?
Oh man, art wise, right? Just strictly art.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've built a foundation through my art as well. So giving back to the community is like one of the biggest things I love to do. Me and my team love to do. But art wise, no man, I'm in love with abstract art, but I got known for my character art. So JP the Money Bear, the inspiration behind JP the Money Bear, it was like a dream big project, pretty much. Like, you know what I mean? I walked out on faith where I had like probably like $400 to my name. And my best friend JP at the time, he had told me, like, yo, when you leave the plantation, I got you. I'm gonna make sure that, you know, your car's not gonna get messed, you know, your car's not gonna get towed and repoed and everything. So he gave me like $4,000 when I left out. And that was like the launching pad to my career, bro. I spent like probably like 2,500 at Blick art material store. And I was ghost for like 2-3 weeks, bro, just working. And then I actually got a chance to move to Miami. So what I love to do the most, I don't know, I just love to create, man. Just different opportunities just bring the creativity out of me. Like I met you doing the baseball cards with Bleecker. Shout out to Bleecker.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Those are sick.
So that was so fun, and we created a bobblehead out of that. So it's just really like the opportunity for me to like show how creative I am is like the best thing I can do.
I love that. So JP the Money Bear, I feel like when I think about artists, I always think about like Andy Warhol, it's the soup cans, Takashi Murakami, it's the flower. Is that it for you forever?
Well, I mean, right now we're working on building the family of JP the Money Bear. So we
That's
released
awesome.
here. I had a bulldog that I was so in love with that passed away at the age of 3.
Oh,
So
damn.
made a toy out of that too, and his name is Capone. So the dog's name is Capone. I gotta send you one. I'm gonna send you a bunch of stuff. But that was a project that we did last year, and we dropped that with Network and Beyond the Streets. This year, I'm working on the inspiration of my son. So I had my first son in 2017 in the midst of my crazy journey. And I had no clue how I was going to get this done, how I was going to be a father, an artist, a businessman. And he really inspired me to like just turn it up, like turn my whole creativity up. So eBay, shout out to eBay, we're launching the Teddy toy. His name is Teddy because he's a younger bear. We're releasing that at DesignerCon in November. So JP the Money Bear was just really just like the start of me, one, letting my best friend live on forever. But 2, just having something recognizable.
Yeah.
So when I drop all this other stuff,
yeah,
people can take it back to like, okay, he's the guy that did that. You know what I mean? So it's really just like a major branding tool that means so much to me.
Yep. That's awesome. Yeah. Now every time I see a bear, I have to think of your work. It's just how it works now. No, that's awesome. Is there anybody that you've wanted to work with forever that you'd love to get the chance to?
I'm going to say person-wise instead of company.
Sure.
I would love to work with Calls. I would love to work with Murakami. It's a few people, man. It's a few people I would love to work with. Virgil, Don C. I worked with Don C on the Tops project. Shout out to Tops.
Yeah.
In Project 70. So me and him got to know each other a little bit. He sent me some sneakers. So I still hit him up all the time. You know what I mean? Like, yo,
Yep.
whenever I got the chance to work, let me in. You know what I mean? So definitely Don C, the amazing Kanye West. I would love to sit down and pick his brain. It's a number of people, man. It's a number of people.
You and Kanye both love the Bears.
Yeah, and that was the inspiration behind it too. So I was sitting at work, and for some reason I kept the College Dropout album in my book bag. I don't know why, bro. It wasn't like I listened to it on the headphones or nothing at that time. I just kept it, and I would just always have like little books with me that I would draw in when I'm super bored. And JP at the time, right? So JP used to always just come over to my mom's house. So only my close friends knew that I was like obsessed with art. You know what I mean? Other than that, basketball, being a regular dude in the hood, like I could talk to you about anything. You know what I mean? I never really talked about art. So one day we in my mom's basement, and I got all this abstract art laying around. He's like, this stuff is cool, but if I seen an abstract piece in a hotel or if I'm traveling somewhere, I wouldn't know it was you. You know what I mean? And he was like looking through my books, like, let me look through your books. Let me see something that sparked my interest. So he's looking through, and it's like all these like remakes of the College Dropout Bear. You know, I'm making them like with Mitch and Les jackets, changing the eyes, and just doing my own thing to it. And he's like, bro, this is it. And I'm like, what? He's like, this bear. He's like, bro, I can see it on everything, like book bags, jackets. And I'm just like, you think so? You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I'm from the hood and I never went to school for art. So I'm trying to, at the time I was trying to do art that I seen all the like the professionals do. You know what I mean? The Jackson Pollocks and just abstract things and things like that. So that's where JP the Money Bear came about. It was really like my best friend JP saying like, bro, I think this would be like your Nike sign or your Apple logo. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yep, exactly it.
It was crazy. And then when he passed away, because I wasn't working on it when he was here, I was still doing my own thing. It was like when your best friend that doesn't really know about art, he's like, do this. And you're like, man, get out of here. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when he passed away, it was like something that like just hit me. It was like, damn, focus on this JP the Money Bear thing. But his name wasn't even JP the Money Bear. It was just the design that I did. And I just started perfecting it. It wasn't until maybe around 2000 and maybe like 17, I got the chance to go to China with a bunch of amazing artists, Mad Steez, Futura, Ron English. It was like crazy. So if you know anything about like the toy world, Lev from Toy Tokyo in New York, he's like the guy. So he was really fond of my work. He was like, yo, I think we could make a toy out of this, out of your artwork. I was like, damn, that'd be crazy. So he set up the situation. We went to China. I stayed there for maybe 2 weeks working with Pop Life and putting it together. And then the people at Pop Life were like, what's his name? And I'm like, I don't know. And then it's like, JP. And I was like, JP the Money Bear. And I'm like, my friend was definitely about his money and inspiration and trying to make all of his friends just become like whoever they wanted to be. You know what I mean? Like we had friends that rap, sang, everything. And he was like the sole provider for everybody's dream. You know what I mean? And I just stuck. It stuck to me. I was like, JP the Money Bear. And we released the toy in 2018 in Shenzhen, China. And then we came to New York. And then it was just like, bro, it just sold out. It was just like people gravitated to this thing. It was almost like a heaven sent. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have big marketing. It wasn't like it was on Hype Beast or something crazy where everybody was like, oh, I got to go get it. It was just really me, just like people follow my story for years and can relate to like a friend that really wanted you to just blow up. You know what I mean? And him untimely passing, I think that added to the story as well because for one, it's just like super sad. You know what I mean? The dude was 29 years old when he passed. And from that, I attached cancer, all different types of cancer, brain cancer, breast cancer, all the different cancers that really like affected my life. My grandmother later on passed away from a different type of cancer too. So everything that I was doing, I was just tying it back. We was donating a lot of art. We was doing a lot of different auctions and give backs and foundation stuff, raising money for different cancer awarenesses. So I think it was like the whole story and it being like a really dope visual.
Yeah.
That it's up, you know what I mean? So shout out to JP, my grandma, and everybody in heaven that really helped me along the way on this.
Man, that's to pretty meaningful story. You don't usually hear that for people's, main artworks. Like I don't think there's any special significance for like the Murakami flower besides it being like dope.
Right. I mean,
So it's cool. It's awesome that you have so much meaning behind everything that you do. I like that a lot. Where, if people want to buy your art, how do they do that?
Well, right now, for the last few years, we've really been not really working with a lot of galleries, just based on the way I came into the game was so organic and just like
Right.
raw, to the point where we set up we got our own kind of economy. We got our own community of artists, collectors and things like that. So they can definitely reach me on Instagram at King Saladeen. My manager is Oren Schneider. So
Yep, legend.
yeah, my dog. So I'll send you all the information, but like the best way is really just like through email and like DMs and things like that.
Awesome. In terms of like the direction that you see art going, obviously the impact that social media had on the accessibility.
Right.
Imagine saying 20 years ago, oh, just DM me.
Wouldn't happen.
Wouldn't happen.
Wouldn't happen.
What do you think buying art is going to look like in 5 or 10 years? Do you think it'll be all digital? Do you think it will be still some gallery and some social media? Where would you like to see it go? And where do you think it'll be?
Well, I think because over the last 10 years, the world has changed so much. So you're saying 20 years from now, I think it's going to be literally
25, 10, whatever you want.
It's going to be like Ready Player One, bro. And I'm just trying to get inside of this whole thing. We're also releasing our second NFT drop in September. So we're definitely going digital. A lot of my different projects like tops and things like that were like part digital, part hand painted, part drawing, part, it's just like everything that I'm learning on this road, I'm just attaching it to my art. So where I see it going, I don't know, man. Sky's the limit, bro. I have no clue, but I'm just definitely trying to jump in every different space that makes sense for my brand and my collectors and things like that. So definitely digital, bro. Definitely digital. It's going to go probably like 75% digital. I definitely think there are going to be like some powerhouse galleries still around in museums and things like that. I love to traditionally paint, so I never want to get away from that. But I'm not sure, bro. It's definitely, things are moving so fast. I don't know. I don't know.
And it's funny because everybody likes to judge things by what their dollar value is. But if you judge it by the the quantity of digital items purchased in the last 2 years, it's pretty insane.
Pretty insane, bro.
And it's like, yeah, the value is going to go up and down. But I think is going to happen is on average, you'll be able to buy more for less, and there will just be higher supplies, but people can get it. So the big artists will be dropping, 100,000 things at $40 each instead of 10,000 things at $4,000 each,
Right.
or whatever that is. And it won't be as much about the money, but it will be more about, collecting the art, like how sports cards and everything else were before the pandemic.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, like shout out for Tops for just having me involved in that project with so many like legendary artists. Cause I'm still like a baby in this, bro. Like literally I popped off probably 2017. So that's 4 years, like 4 or 5 years, going on 5 years that the world kind of took notice to what I was doing. So, bro, like one of the reasons why I wanted to start my own baseball cards, and I love the Tops project, was that people that weren't art collectors traditionally, and people that weren't, financially where they needed to be to buy a $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 piece, they could own some of my art. And that's one of the reasons why I'm getting into the NFT space as well. It's like, it's total ownership of an artist that you love, or it's recognized all around the world, and you can get it for a lower price point, and that can get you into the arts. You know what I mean? Like my biggest thing is like, I didn't grow up going to museums and galleries and things like that. So I understood that it's a market out there for people that love art, but just think they can't obtain it. You know what I mean? So
For
I
sure.
also wanted to make something that was like, kids could, bug their parents and get, a baseball card or a poster or just something that's not like a low price point thing, but still would gain value, still an investment. You know what I mean? So um, that's one of the biggest things I wanted to do: these cards, merchandise, all kinds of stuff like that, product based. You know what I mean? Because I know it's a lot for somebody to invest in a $50,000 painting. You know what I mean? So
For sure. For sure. That's
even
definitely
when you have the money, you might want to watch, you might want a car, it's just your focus is on so many different things when you get your first amount of money. So I just wanted somebody to be like groomed into collecting my art. You know what I mean?
for sure. And digitally, it makes a ton of sense for the artists and the companies. I am a believer that everything will be on the blockchain that makes sense to be, such as every ticket to every event, access to schools, like your student IDs, like identification will be there, just because it makes more sense, because everybody makes more. Like, the classic example is like Drake sells a front row ticket for $1,000, the reseller sells it for 10,000. Now he gets another 1,000 if it's 10% royalty on the resale.
Right.
It makes sense. It just
On top of that, it's a royalty which many artists don't get. Once you sell that painting, it's gone, and then somebody can put it in an auction. You sell it for, let's say, $20,000. They put it in auction, it goes for $200,000, and you're like, what just happened? You know what I mean? It also makes your value go up, but we're talking about artists that like have to live day to day with families too. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the blockchain is amazing just for that ownership, and it's like no counterfeit situation going on once you have something in the blockchain. So,
and imagine it like this. Leonardo da Vinci, he died 500 years ago. He saw none of this $500 million sale action. But imagine it was on the blockchain and it was passed down, access to the royalties was passed down generation to generation. Every time it would sell, whoever passed it down would get to decide who got to receive that 10%. 10% of $500 million isn't nothing. That's $50 million on a sale, on a royalty.
yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen too, where the children and the grandchildren of these artists will be benefiting from them being digitally forward and blockchain tracked in a way that has never been true for Picasso and
even a Basquiat that died
right.
maybe years ago. You know what I mean? Like his work's going for $200 million right now, but most of those pieces were probably sold for 30 grand. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's why I'm trying to make sure that my kids get to eat off of my art forever. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm dibbling and dabbling and not just staying in one lane, because I know the journey is really the art. You know what I mean? The journey of how you can take your art from physical to digital and the blockchain and everything like that. It's like I have to be on top of that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's inevitable that it works out. A lot of people just the same way, when social media started and people were like, no, you can't sell art on social media. Like people have to see it in a gallery. And now they're saying the same thing about, digital. So I think it's going to be fun to watch it progress. But look, if everybody got it immediately, there wouldn't be a first mover advantage. So, we can all consider ourselves lucky in that regard.
Lucky, blessed. I say blessed.
Yeah, definitely. Last question for you. What makes you the happiest generally in all of life? What gets you going and fired up the most?
Honestly, man, like seeing ideas come to life, man. Like seeing ideas come to life, because I used to talk and just speak so much stuff into existence, bro. Even down to like when I used to fly back and forth, just like to LA and Miami. Then I had to go back home. It was just like I used to talk to myself, like, you know what? I don't ever want to fly coach anymore. Like, you know what I mean? And it was like I didn't fly first class or a jet or anything at the time. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of like I just felt it. I was just like, I need to be in the front seats talking to these people that might be a doctor, might be who I don't know who these people were, but I had to walk past them on every flight, and they would be on their iPads or whatever on their laptops. And I'm like, what are they doing? You know what I mean? And like that was just one of the things that I seen like happen. You know what I mean? Other than my career, but just speaking things into existence. people's dreams coming true, bro, and me being able to provide for my family and the people I bring along in the journey. Like I have a team. Like a lot of artists are just like artists that stay in the studio by themselves. I got like a whole team, a crew of people like that all have significant jobs now. But at first it was kind of like, I don't know what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I do that. But I understood that playing sports, you need a team. You know what I mean? You need somebody that's going to be the point guard, that's going to control the ball. You need somebody that's going to grab the rebounds. You need that dirty guy that's just like, yo, I'm coming in and I'm getting my 6 fouls and I'm good. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, and also a coach, an assistant coach. So I just put all of my sports history and me playing basketball and just me learning business. I just put it all in one pot, bro, and just kind of like try to make it work. And right now, you know, I'm not super rich, so it's not like I can pay my team $1 million. You know what I mean? So everybody with me is like super, like it's like the beginning of Google. You know what I mean? Like these people are just they in it, and they in it for the dream that I have and the dream that they have also. So it's kind of like it's just an amazing team that I got blessed with, and like we just knocking out these projects, bro. So it's like anything that I come across, if it's from right now, like we're working on a Netflix situation, and that's kind of like way beyond my thoughts, bro. So I have somebody that's super good on the computer, that I'm okay on the computer. You know what I mean? I have somebody like an Oren he's the deal closer. You know what I mean? I'm the guy that talks to everybody, and you know, most people want to talk to the artist. So I'm the guy that, you know, make you feel very comfortable. I'm relatable. You want the artwork anyway. So I'm just here to make you feel very comfortable with your purchase or your investment. And I got somebody that's going to take care of all the paperwork, all the blockchain, all the COA stuff. And I also have a team in the studio where it's like, if I want to build something, I have somebody that can actually build it with me. You know what I mean? But he's good on the saw, you know what I mean? And just all kinds of different technical stuff. So it's like, I just love seeing people's dreams come true, man. And I love to have like people that I really, really care about and fuck with, like a part of my journey, bro. You know what I mean? Because I could do it by myself, but it's like, for one, it'd be a lot harder, and two, it'd be like a lot boring. It'd be
it's more fun with the people around you. Everything is 100%. That's amazing. I believe it. I believe the vision. I see the passion. Passion leads to everything else. So, and you know, people who love what they do are always the most successful. You know, it's just.
But Buster, you the man. Thank you for having me on your platform, bro. I've been watching you for a while. When Bleecker had said that you were going to be one of the people that was hosting the show, I was like, oh man, this is perfect. The dude loves hoops. He's a cool ass dude. And I just finally got to meet you. It's just been perfect, man. So thank you for having me on your platform, bro.
Likewise, man. Thank you. And thank you for having me a part of that as well. I'm sure this is the first of many things we're able to do together.
Yeah, let's do it. We got to brainstorm, man. Let's put something together.
There's definitely some stuff. All right, everybody. You know where to find at King Saladeen. Check him out. Check out his work, and we'll catch you next time. See you guys. Peace.